I only married you because of your... I'm not interested in you now. After the pregnancy, you got ugly day by day.
My loving husband cruelly told me that I was no longer welcome in our home after giving birth to the twins. All the things I had shared with her, memories we shared, all of it just gone. He simply cut me off as if I was no of any value to him. After the birth of my children, I was left with only one task: to be their housekeeper. My husband threatened me with a knife and refused to let me leave. I was deeply disappointed in him. I've had enough of this. I will tell the truth to myself right here, right now. I wonder how he will react when he finds out everything. I smiled to myself quietly. My name is Lauren. I got married 6 years ago with my Brody. When we first got married, my father a plot of land in his name. He also left me $50,000 to put a down payment on a house. He was so happy that I got married. We decided to use the money as a down payment and build a house on the land. We both had enough money saved up, and our monthly income was fine. We decided to build a custom-built home for our family. 6 years have passed since our marriage. I'm carrying 2 babies in my tum. After 4 years of fertility treatment, we were blessed with our children. We were told that both of them would be coming. As an only child, having a brother was an unknown world to me. I am now in a stable period and 6 pregnant. At first, my husband and I had put all the baby stuff together as soon as possible, but I'm not ready for that yet. My husband says he's busy at work. He seems to be working overtime almost every day. If I don't get the baby stuff within a month, I won't be ready until I go home to have the babies. I knew I was running out of time, so I decided to ask my husband firmly. Recently, he comes home from work at p.m. I usually go to bed before he does, rubbed my sleepy eyes, and waited for come home. Finally, at 11:30 p.m., I heard the door open. My husband appeared in the living room, immediately started talking to him.
Welcome home, Brody.
Hey, what is it? I'm tired.
We need to get all the baby stuff too soon. I don't have much time. I'm going home next month. Remember?
I'm busy. You can do it on your own.
What? We talked about going to the together.
I said, I'm busy. You're on maternity leave, and I'm struggling to make ends meet.
But it's...
I took maternity leave early, but because I don't want to work. Since it's twins, you need to prepare carefully and early. Even my husband knows that I have to go to my parents' house in a few weeks. I wonder if he can't even make time one day. I understand that he's busy, but what about our unborn children? I can't be sloppy in my preparations. Normally, I would have given up, but on this day, I was different.
Please, Brody, just one day.
I told you I'm busy. Now, shut it.
Why? Why did you suddenly become so... You've been working overtime every weekend, even starting to work on weekdays.
That's...
What? Can't you tell me the reason?
You make it sound like it's my fault.
I didn't say that. I'm just asking, so busy.
Shut up. I'm not going anyway. You know, there's the internet and everything.
Then he pulled a couple of $100 bills out of his wallet and slammed the table.
Take that money and buy baby stuff.
I was sad and angry at the same time. Heartless comment. If he can't do what I'm asking him, there's no point in talking to him. I gave up going with him and asked to accompany me shopping in my home. A month later, on the day of the trip, my husband was at work. When I first found out I was pregnant, every time I visited my parents, they always made me feel welcome. But this time, he said he was too busy. I had no choice but to call my father and have him come pick me up. In the car on the way to my parents, my father opened his mouth a little.
Brody was gonna give you a ride, wasn't he?
I didn't know what to say.
I heard he's been busy with work lately.
Your mom told me that you're gonna be a big sister soon. You were gonna get it with Brody, you.
I told you he can't. He's busy.
Even if he's busy with work, he could at least go shopping, you know?
I've asked him many times too, but says he doesn't have time.
See below for spelling and grammar mistakes.
My father still looked like he wanted something. I didn't want to talk about my husband anymore, so I turned my attention outside. I guess he knew how I felt. He drove without saying a word. A few months later, I gave birth to... I've been in the care of my parents months. Today is the day I go back to my husband's after a long time. I can finally take my children and my life with my husband. Normally, I would be happy to see him today. My feelings were indescribable. There was a heaviness in my heart because my husband never once came to my parents' house. Not only during my pregnancy and Eve, our sons were born, not even for a single day. I tried to contact him many times. His response was, "I'm busy. I don't have time to come over." I was beyond angry, even my parents furious. So my parents contacted Brody Severs, but he never responded. In the car on the way home, my father was a little irritated and broached the subject.
If you go back to Brody and find it impossible to live with him, you can always leave.
Thank you, Dad. I'm glad you said that.
You're the one who chose him, and I to think he's too bad of a guy. But Brody's attitude is unforgivable.
Okay, but I don't know if he'll be...
I don't care. Let me wait with you gets home.
Thank you, Dad. I'd appreciate it.
I'm sure Brody will change his attitude little if he got a direct order from... With this faint hope in my heart, I home with my father. I came home for the first time in Mo. When I inserted the key into the lock on the front door, I felt a strange sensation.
Huh? It wouldn't go all the way in.
No matter how many times I tried, I get the key all the way in. Fortunately, the lights were on. I know that my husband is already high positive. So I press the intercom and hear a voice. As I stood there, the front door opened. A strange woman came out of the door. She looks puzzled and calls out to...
Excuse me, who are you?
This is my house.
What? My husband bought this house months ago.
2 months ago.
I was so shocked that I couldn't even raise my voice. She reacted as if she had just thoused something.
Ah, I see.
Yes. How do you know my husband?
My husband bought this house from Brody, a senior colleague of his artwork.
What do you mean he bought it?
We had a baby last year, so we haven't been able to move yet. We were thinking of building a house. Brody gave us a reasonable price. We paid $50,000 in one lump sum and will be paid in installments. Well, of course you know that because his wife.
My father and I looked at each other. It was more than just a coincidence. The couple, Mr. and Mrs. Patterson, were kind enough to give us some time alone. I immediately called my husband and to explain the situation.
Hey! Brody, what the hell is going?
Oh, you're back.
My husband sounded annoyed over that.
You, housekeeper, skip your chores and leave the house unattended for too long.
Cut the crap! Just explain to me why else is living in our house. Did you sell it? Are you crazy?
What? It doesn't matter. The house names.
Huh? Where the hell are you anyway?
I'm staying at Hilton with my girlfriend.
Girlfriend?
Yeah, I just sent it to you. Look at picture.
Attached to the message on my phone picture of my husband cuddling with woman. For all intents and purposes, they close as lovers can get. I still can't wrap my head around the situation. And he confronts me with an unforgiving reality.
Look, I only married you because of looks. I'm not interested in you now. After pregnancy, you got ugly day by day.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, that's why I started having a relationship with her. You started fat and bloated. Anyway, I'm gonna live with her. You're gonna be my housekeeper from now on.
Housekeeper, are you kidding me?
I'll send you my address. Come here.
He hung up the phone and sent me of the hotel.
You've got to be kidding me.
At that moment, I felt an inexpressible flare-up like a flame. My father's face, who was listening whole thing, was burning too. I could see his body trembling with. Mrs. Patterson looks at us with a cold gaze. I call out to her to tell them that.
Excuse me, is your husband here?
Yes, he is.
I'd like to talk to him.
Could you go get him?
Okay, one moment, please. After that, I showed him the photos my husband had sent me and explained the situation. Apparently, my husband's a fair par colleague at the same company. Mr. Patterson was deeply surprised. When he was angry, he could not forgive my husband. His wife was the same. As a parent with a child who has been diagnosed with autism, I know what my husband did. When I was about to contact my husband again, I took a deep breath and pressed the button.
What?
He yelled through the phone.
Hey, you're gonna keep me waiting if you don't get your ass over here and cook us something good.
I tell him calmly.
What? I'm offering you a job here, housekeeper. If you don't like it, I'll divorce.
You don't know anything.
What do you mean by that?
The Pattersons are suing you.
As soon as he heard the word sue, my husband turned weak. He sounded anxious, and I told him.
Suing? Why?
Because you deceived them.
What are you talking about? I didn't do anything. I just sold them a house in my name discount.
Yeah, you sold the house, but what land?
What? No way. The land is not for sale.
Remember, this land doesn't belong to us. It's in my father's name. They only haven't had to pay for the land so that my father owns it. So if you and the Patterson family live here, you'll have to pay $100 per month. Did you explain that to them?
My husband's voice is inarticulate as I explain the situation. I carefully break down what I had to that even he could understand.
My father said he will charge you F land if someone else lives in that. But the Pattersons never heard that. They say that when they bought the land was never mentioned.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a mistake or not, but I can see that you have used for instead of form. It should be form instead.
There's only one solution here. Either you buy the land from them or pay for the land. For fraud, you know.
Fraud? No. Wait a minute. I don't, kind of money.
50,000 words is a lot of writing. It will keep you busy for a while.
I can't afford it. I've already spent that money on the hotel and vacation with my girlfriend. Please, Lauren, do something. Ask you, give the land to the Patterson.
Even after all this, he still tries to take no responsibility. He's still trying to use me to save. I'm so disgusted with him that I can hardly speak. As I fell silent, my husband continued to plead with me.
Hey, are you listening to me, Lauren? Look, your husband's asking for help something.
If he had come to see me and the twins once, it might have changed the outcome. But instead of coming to see me, he went off on his own. He used the money to stay at a luxury hotel with the woman he cheated on me with. And he treated me like a housemaid. The babies were born. I have no sympathy for such a person. I fought back the anger that rose and vented my resentment.
You? Son of a bitch! You want my... Who the hell do you think you are? Do you have any idea what an asshole has done to me? I've suffered so much because of you, and you think one flimsy apology will bring forgiveness?
Lauren, wait. Calm down.
How can I calm down under such circumstances? You cheat on your wife and sell her without asking. And to top it all off, you want me housekeeper. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not going to let you take advantage of me. I don't want you in my life anymore. Out of my sight.
I ended the call and immediately called my husband's contact information. All that remained was to divorce her from her husband. After that, Brody apologized to the Patterson, but they're on my side. They said they would sue him if he didn't pay for the large amount of damage he caused to their property. Finally, Brody bought the land from, and the problem was solved. I hired a lawyer to file a claim against Brody and his partner for the alimony. In addition, I demanded that he support his children. He had to move out of the Hilton. He and his mistress seemed to broke up. Mr. Patterson made my husband's application to the company. The mistress resigned because she couldn't take it anymore. Brody became distant from everyone and completely isolated. However, he had accumulated a lot, so he cannot quit the company. For some time to come, almost all one income will be used to pay his bill. He will not be able to live a life for some time to come. I, on the other hand, went back to my parents' house right after that. I explained the situation to the company, so they let me work remotely. I returned to work without any incidents. There will be times in the future when children will be inconvenienced by their father's absence. Even so, I want to raise them with love and care.